Okay. So I'm just a consumer here. My name is Lisa. I'm an ICU nurse. I'm here from Wisconsin. I'm a suburban mom of 2 amazing teenagers. And I live with the love of my life. But I'm here today with you because I cannot think of a better way to tell the nation that I vape and I vote. Vaping nicotine has been a lifesaver for me. I was a 24-year, 2-pack-a-day smoker. I loved smoking so much. I went out and bought a Joyatech Ego AIO so that I could smoke more during the winter when it was cold outside in Wisconsin. But I quit within a week on accident. It was that easy. My melon-flavored e-liquid tasted so much better than that Newport Light 100. And that started my journey into looking into this thing that I was doing. I had tried and failed countless times to quit smoking. So I started watching all these amazing YouTubers that we have, like Grim Green, Matt Cully, right? Dave from Dash Vapes, love them all. And I learned from them that vaping nicotine was a much healthier alternative to these deadly combustible cigarettes. I was overjoyed. I thought this was a public health miracle because I have literally, in my 9 years as an ICU nurse, watched so many people die. And one of them I'll never forget. He had chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD, lifetime smoker, probably in his mid-60s, and I watched him all night long on a BiPAP machine, which is something that forces air into your lungs. It has a near airtight seal. It's so tight it causes your skin to break down. It's suffocating. It dries out your mouth, and it's not something sustainable long term. I watched his entire body heaving so violently off that bed just to struggle for breath, until he made himself something we call comfort care, when we stop treatment and do everything we can to just keep these patients comfortable. And then his fight was over. But I'm here fighting with you guys today so that we don't have to watch more smokers die. And now our government and our media has waged a war on the miracle that has helped all of us to reclaim our own lives. I feel like I'm walking into battle some days at work when I go in fighting to educate my peers and colleagues in the medical profession that assume, like the rest of the public, that vaping nicotine must be bad based on the lies and misinformation that they have blasted at them from every angle. Woo! Yeah. And one recent morning, a few hours before my 12-hour shift was over, I was told I was getting an admission. And that admission diagnosis was vaping pulmonary injury. And as I was excited because as much as I hate this rash of illnesses going on, I thought, good, I'll be the one to be able to dig for the truth for myself and find out what's going on. So we get him in and I hook him up to our monitors and make sure his vital signs are acceptable. And I start talking to him. He said he vaped marijuana, he vaped nicotine, all of it, man. But talking to him, he couldn't name a single RDA, sub-ohm tank, pod, or mod that he used. He was insistent, though, that it was the e-cigarettes making him sick and not the marijuana vape pen that he got from his buddy, because that's what he heard on the news. He heard that on the news. Exactly. He didn't hear anything about marijuana or THC, only about e-cigarettes. And this is when our critical care doctor walks in the room and he starts his admission assessment. And while he's talking to the patient, I look over his shoulder and I'm watching as he writes his note. And the first sentence he wrote is patient reports using e-cigarettes. And now my blood is boiling, but I wait until we're outside the room. to talk to him. And I say, so, can I tell you a little bit about what's going on here? And he looks a bit shocked as I begin to explain that this has nothing to do with e-cigarettes and everything to do with black market illegal THC cartridges. And I gave our doctor the information that the media and the FDA and the CDC are unwilling to make clear. And people keep getting sick and dying as a result of that. So I go back into the patient room and I'm determined to get more information out of him. And he thought some more about the last shipment he got from his buddy. Oh, the last stuff I got was dank vapes, Mario Karts, TKO, and my head nearly exploded. Dank vapes is exactly what's causing these injuries, I tell him. Dank vapes is a manufacturer of packaging only, and it's used by drug dealers to add whatever they want inside of these cartridges, things like vitamin E acetate, pesticide contaminants, and I was elated to be able to document exactly the brand of cartridges that he was using and the fact that they were black market brands. And be able to educate this patient so that he could avoid getting sick again. My shift was over, but I wasn't done. I walked back to the critical care office and found our head physician of the unit just starting his shift. I knocked and asked him if I could talk to him about the patient that I just admitted to the unit. And he says, "This is the least interesting patient here to me." And I said, "This is the most interesting patient here to me. Can I tell you why?" And this led to a 30-minute discussion covering everything from my story to what I had learned from the UK Royal College physicians, that vaping nicotine held approximately 5% of the harm of deadly combustible cigarettes. And it was harm reduction for the 480,000 smokers who would die each year. We talked about the master settlement agreement, how states are profiting in the billions of dollars that they get from tobacco sales. And because vaping nicotine is such a tremendous way for smokers to switch to a less harmful alternative, they are losing money. Some states are literally choosing to sentence people to death in order to keep that cash flow going. Right. And we talked about the fact that I was so passionate about this that I had the molecular structure of e-liquid tattooed on my arm. So some doctors like him will listen, and others I've talked to will continue to be educated by the media, unfortunately. I will never stop fighting for this disruptive technology that has helped me reclaim my life. And I am a single-issue voter on this topic, and I will never vote for any constituent who threatens to take this life-saving adult choice away from me.